Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Is It Wrong Podcast with your host, me, Ray Parra. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe and share. Add all your comments. We love the comments. Every time we have a special guest, there's different comments. We have a conversation. We have a great time, guys. Remember to get our merch. We got some cool t-shirts, some cool mechanic shirts, some hats, some buttons, some mugs, all kinds of real good stuff. But just stay tuned for today's guest. It's going to be a great one.
This show is called Is It Wrong Podcast with Ray Parra.
Hey guys, hello. Welcome back to Is It Wrong? Tonight, we're sitting down with a group of people who were on one of the most watched shows in America back in the day, The Biggest Loser. Tonight, we sit down with three exceptional people who shocked America in their own kind of ways. We got Danny Cahill. We got Sean Allgaier. Allgaier. Gosh, I can edit that out. So we got Sean Allgaier. Nah, I'm not going to edit it out. It doesn't matter. And Tracy, I'm going to call you Tracy Lane. That's what I call you by, you know. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Couldn't be better right now.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on, man. I've been excited about this. I told my wife earlier that I interview a lot of big artists, and I was never as nervous as I was tonight when I was going to interview you guys.
Really?
And it's weird, man, because I interview people that, you know, people are like, you know, Rudy Sarzo or Todd LaTorre from, you know, stuff like that. And then you guys, just, you know, millions and millions of people watch you guys. You guys are like big time celebrities. You know, Danny, millions of people watched you as you came onto the set as one of the biggest guys and made just lost so much weight. People were shocked by that. You know what I'm saying? This is not just people playing music and stuff. You know, Pastor Sean, staying strong and faithful. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call you Pastor if that's all right. I might even preach a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, so at where I work at, I'm a campus minister at a K-12 Christian school, and they call me Shepherd Sean. So
Shepherd
Pastor
Sean,
Shepherd Sean, whatever you,
yeah, man. And then we got Tracy. Oh, Tracy. We're going to have some fun with that one, right?
Why not?
Oh, man. So where do we start? I mean, I want to start with you, Danny. Oh, man, you know what? We have a special guest that I asked to come on. You guys mind if I bring somebody on for a minute?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
A surprise guest? Okay.
Surprise, yeah.
Surprise guest for one of you guys, Danny, which in turn
that's
introduced me to you guys and made this happen.
Oh, I love it.
Dozer and I have been talking about getting Danny on the show for a long time, and I asked Dozer if he'd come on just for a couple minutes and say hello, and there he is.
I said no.
I have a cool name like Dozer.
Yeah.
Well, I asked him why. I said, "Why are you Dozer?" Back when we used to go to church together, I said, "Why do you call Dozer? Just because you're a big guy?" And he said, "Oh no, I was a kickboxer, and I'd run over people." And I was like, "Okay, taught me what I need to know. I ain't ever crossed a Dozer."
Red Rover, send Dozer right over.
That was many moons ago.
I think I have a picture of your gloves that you used to use, Dozer.
Wow.
That's them right there.
That.
That's them. Where'd you find those?
Wow.
Oh,
I thought
man.
Dozer was in the Matrix, though, you know, so, you know.
I think there was a Dozer in the Matrix, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
It
wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't me.
I'm innocent.
Oh,
So,
man.
I just want to say hi, Danny, Tracy, Sean. Darcy invited me to Danny's welcome back party or whatever it was. And I guess you were there, Sean. And I was working and I couldn't make it. I was like, I wish you would have given me more notice.
They didn't give us any notice on that show. It was like, you know, we'd get a piece of paper and it'd say like, pack 2 pair of sweats and 2 pair of shoes, one that you don't care if you never see again. And we're like, you know, and so
That's funny. That's all I own is 2 pairs of shoes.
You know, an odd thing for the season after season 8 that you guys were on, Danny had put me in contact with somebody at casting, and I had secured a VIP, whatever it was. Do you remember that, Danny?
Yeah, VIP pass to get up the
Yeah.
front of the line.
And they did a casting call here in Oklahoma City. I got laryngitis 3 days before the casting call.
Oh no.
And I was like, I can't talk.
Oh man.
Is that a bad thing? You can't talk. They won't. use
Now
you?
I don't think
Gotta be,
so.
like,
now
ready
now
when
it's
you
like
show
it was
up.
a God thing or something, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
but I topped out over 500 pounds. I'm down below 400 pounds now.
All right.
So, and I'm not snacking all the time, you know. So,
Good deal, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, Dozer, man, thanks for hopping on here and saying hello to everybody, brother.
yeah, I just wanted to say hi.
Appreciate you doing it last minute, man.
Hi.
Nice
It
to
was nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
All right.
Someday we're gonna play again, buddy.
I hope so, man. I
Danny.
really do.
Talk to Dozer. Tell him to pick up that guitar and rehearse and rehearse and write and write and write.
I'm
can
doing
write, but
that,
he's-
man.
Well,
I'm doing that. I just don't have anywhere to go with it. I've got
Yeah.
ideas coming out of my brain like an explosion, like TNT. But
Yeah.
what to do with it?
All right. All right.
But
All right,
man, I'd love
Dozer.
to play with Danny again. All right, hey Danny,
Yeah, man.
please give Darcy and the kids my love.
I will do.
And it's good to see your face, bro.
Good to see you too, buddy.
Ray, yours not so much.
I know. You see it all the time. That's why.
Sean, Tracy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
as well.
Y'all take
Thanks for
care.
joining us. I love
Blessings,
your name. I won't
Dozer.
forget it.
See you later, buddy.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Bye.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Such a
His real
great
name's
guy.
William.
William Blakefield.
is.
Yeah.
I need a nickname. I love that Dozer. I need a nickname.
You need a nickname. Let's make
I
up a
can come up.
nickname for
I can come up for
Yeah,
one with you. You know,
I
for
don't
you.
know if I want you guys to make me up a nickname. I don't know if that would
Yeah,
happen.
you do. We can make you one up right now on the show.
I play every Saturday night. I'm playing tomorrow night at a biker church once a month, every first Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
And they won't give me a name until I have a motorcycle. And I
Really?
don't have a motorcycle. They said, but they got like there's headlights and pipe wrench and whatever. They all have a nickname. And I'm like, well, what am I? And they said, but you got to get a bike first.
Oh,
I don't
So
know if I want
headlight,
you on a
bike
bike.
wrench.
I'm gonna stand with Darcy and say no.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm too chicken.
So Tracy, let's talk to you for a minute. Everybody is still on. How you doing? You doing good?
Yes, I'm doing great. Yeah,
So
I'm doing really good.
Yeah, so I know I saw everything, when that the first challenge to see if you can make it was when y'all are running on the beach and you passed out and all that stuff. Can you just share a little bit about that? What was going through your mind when you were passing out when in the helicopter ride and everything? I mean, what was going on?
Well, I had a condition called rhabdomyolysis, and it's where your muscle tissue is breaking down and it's releasing toxic amounts of lactic acid, and that floods your organs. So it floods your kidneys and your liver and then my heart. And that's where I did pass out. I remember, crawling through the sand. I don't remember them carrying me across the finish line.
Oh wow.
I don't even remember that scene at all, where everyone
Wow.
kind of grabs me and brings me across.
Mhm.
I don't remember riding in the helicopter. All I know is just obviously what I saw on television. I just remember running and going down the hill, and then once I got to the sand part, my legs felt really heavy and I felt really foggy, and I couldn't explain why my legs wouldn't work, my limbs wouldn't work. It was almost I lost complete focus. I just remember seeing the flags, and then obviously I saw what everyone else saw, where they carried me across the finish line. I don't remember that. I don't remember them putting anything on my mouth. And I woke up in the
Wow.
hospital, and I couldn't see. It was like
Oh,
everything was black. So it's like I was awake, but yet I wasn't there. And I could hear Dr. Heisinga's voice calling my name. There was a ton of doctors in the room. They had to. I do remember being strapped down,
Mhm.
and because I was trying to fight, because that you get in that. When you're in that kind of situation, it's like fight or flight, and
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
know what's happening around you. And I didn't know who I was. all I could feel was like, I was like, I feel like I'm somewhere, but I don't know who I am. And I don't know what my name is. And these people all around me, and they're taking my clothes off. And I
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
that. And so your immediate reaction is to fight. And so I started like trying to move my arms and legs, although I didn't have any movement.
Mm.
And then I remember Dr. Huizinga was there at the head of my head, and he's like, strap her down. So they physically strapped me down, and then bam, I was out again. And then I didn't wake up for a couple of days.
Wow.
And so I was in a coma for a couple of days, and then when I woke up, it was like, wow, this really happened.
Wow.
So it was very scary, very scary.
Yeah.
And
So
no
when you,
one on the show knew what was going on, and no one on
Yeah.
television knew how grave it was. It
Yeah.
was I am absolutely here because I'm supposed to be here, because that day
yeah.
completely changed the trajectory of my life for sure.
So you had some underlying issues going on behind the scene that nobody even really knew about.
Nobody knew. They didn't talk about what I had. They didn't, it was never addressed, never discussed, which is
Mhm.
really sad, because over the last 17 years, I always read the paper. I read an obituary. I read where some kid was, outside exercising and they never made it home because they
Yes.
ended up having a condition, and then they never quite say that it's from rhabdomyolysis. There's so much more awareness that needs to happen for that condition, because it
Mm.
happens more often than you think, even though it's rare. And
Yeah.
that a lot of people, I'm on the board for rhabdomyolysis group, and it's about bringing awareness, because it can really happen to anyone. It can come from overexertion of exercise.
Mhm.
Burn victims can get rhabdo. Asphyxiation, if you are trapped somewhere, like maybe in a trunk or in a car, and you can't get out, or maybe your chest,
Mhm.
you can develop rhabdo. And we actually learned about what rhabdomyolysis is from animals. So we learned it from veterinary medicine, because hunters would, picture a hunter, maybe in a helicopter going to, kill a deer or something. And that deer just running its heart out, and then all of a sudden it just collapses. It
Oh, yeah.
collapses because of the exertion and the adrenaline.
Wow.
I
That
know.
is so weird. Yeah.
So we learned about rhabdo from veterinary medicine.
I wonder if that part of that has something to do with like people who develop claustrophobia. Like you said, being in like tight bunkers or a tight space. Or
Yes. I don't know about that, but I have read about some studies about people who were in situations where they were trapped and developed rhabdo. So I can see that happening. There's so many layers to it that I've learned over the years, and if I really had to educate myself about it, and I go to the doctor and have to get my liver and my kidneys checked and my heart checked every year. For the last 17 years, I get all of those things checked, because it affects your major organs from having rhabdo.
Sure. And now you're doing good, right?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing really good. I've had a couple of scares over the years, because I'm that extreme person where I'm like, oh, let me do CrossFit for a while, and oh, let me run some marathons, and let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
And I did well, but then there was a couple of them, and I'm like, I don't feel very good. And I had to take a trip to the hospital, and
Wow.
I had to stay there, because they're like, yeah, you're developing rhabdo again. You need to have electrolytes. So it makes you think, and you pay attention to the weather, going to the beach.
Yeah.
What is today like? What can I do exercise wise? Have I ate enough? Did I have enough nutrition? Did I drink enough? So it's
Right. Now, when you came back to the show, you weren't able to really exercise as much. And that's when stuff started happening, and you became like this villain, But
Yes.
I heard now that you're in like dance competitions, right? I think I got a video here of that.
That's a good
Forgot the-
AI. I like
forgot
that.
that
That's good.
I think that wasn't that on the Netflix episode.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I missed that one.
But that
You missed
person has
it.
moves, whoever that is.
Yeah,
when I came
it's AI generated,
Oh, of course. Yeah, when I came back to the show, I wasn't allowed to exercise. It was hard. It was really hard, because I'm a competitive person
Mhm.
naturally. Like, that's who I am.
Sure.
and I want to win for myself.
Absolutely.
And coming back, and then all these relationships had been built when I got back, and I felt very out of place. Like, oh wow, I'm really behind. And
Yeah.
it's like not being picked on the PE yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like everything is kind of picked for you, and you just are enthralled. I felt like it was a really tough spot to be in, and I tried my best to stay really positive. And I could like swim in the pool, I could walk, and so for every opportunity that I was given, I took it.
Sure.
So
She even said, "Can I do your dishes? It burns calories." I said, "Well, sure."
I did
There you go.
so many dishes in the Biggest Loser house.
Yeah,
Like,
that's real.
we're talking about 60 people all in the same house. There was a lot of dishes.
I
There
bet.
was a lot of dishes. But you know what? I knew how to do dishes. I know how to take care of a family. I have
Yeah.
4 children. So I knew that I could just like not stop moving and do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I dusted some of the things in the living room probably 10 times in one day. I
Oh my
just was like
gosh.
doing stuff because they wouldn't
Ooh,
let me
ooh.
exercise. And so I had to stay around the house. And so I would just like look for things to do. And I washed the walls. I did the dishes. I cleaned out the refrigerator. I just
13
did
times a day.
anything to stay moving so that
Yeah.
I wasn't exerting myself outside, and I was in the air conditioning, and Dr. Huizinga could have a camera on me at all times. That's really the way it was.
All right, so let's go to Sean and Danny. You guys, although you guys are great friends now, what was the feelings during this time? Because y'all are busting your butt in the gym and running and hiking and da 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 da. And Tracy's just cleaning the house and the AC. And Sean, let's talk to you. What were you feeling like, really, legitimately?
I mean, legitimately, I was having a blast there.
Mhm.
I am like the opposite of Tracy coming into that space. I was not competitive at all. I was just excited to meet people and do something new. And so, like knowing Danny and meeting Tracy, and I mean, that was the fun part for me. So, I mean, it was a different experience for me than it was for Tracy, the way she described it. And to be honest with you, I didn't even really understand until well, not many, but several years later, I didn't have a real understanding of like why. Because when we all got there, we all really bonded with each other. Except for Tracy, because she was gone.
Right.
So we all met each other and heard each other's stories and grew a quick trauma bond. Like it was crazy.
Sure.
And so it was just a blast just to know them and do that. And I also wasn't like trying to, I know this is going to sound nuts. And I feel like I've said this a lot and people are like, no, that's not real. But anyone that knows me knows this is true. I was not there to win a game show at all. So while, you know, there was strategy by different people. I mean, honestly, like, you know, Danny had some strategies. You know, he was like, I want to do well, and I want to, and there was a little turning point, and he can talk about this later. Where he was like, I want to win this thing. I can do it. I don't think I really ever had that in me. So like when Tracy passed out on the beach, I was like praying for her, like 24/7. I was like, this girl's gonna die. Like,
yeah, man.
We didn't know, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, it was real concern when the helicopter came, and you know, people were watching it on TV, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this seems like TV, but it didn't feel like TV.
Sure.
You know, then it was scary.
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't know, and I actually like the feeling of ignorance of that. You know, because I think it made the experience way more pure for me. You know what I mean? And I for all of us, just when I say we all bonded, I mean, we were all friends and all enjoying each other's company and really loving talking to each other and getting to know each other.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you this: this for all three of you guys. Actually, did you guys all know that? You know how when you meet a Christian, as a Christian, you already just know, right? You can tell by their spirit, their kindred spirit. Did you guys already know when you met each other? Man, there's something about that person. I bet they're saved. I bet they're saved. I bet they're saved. You know, did you guys get any vibe like that at all, or no?
I knew Sean was immediately. We were on the bus when we were going to the CBS studio, and I was saying something, and you turned around and said, "Are you from Tulsa?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, and then he goes, "You said something about 100 people texting you. Congratulations, you're on the show. You know they could sue us for $1 million, don't you?" but
Why?
Sean,
Why?
well, our contract said you'll be sued for $1 million if you let any secrets out or whatever.
Oh,
But I
man.
didn't do that. Somebody else did, and they told me to throw a party. So, but anyway, Sean, I knew Sean.
Danny won. Okay.
No, I knew Sean was when I met Tracy on the bus
Mhm.
on the way to the beach that all
Yeah.
that stuff happened. I
Yeah.
said, you look just like my wife.
Oh, wow.
And she thought, and she goes, I don't know. I think maybe she thought I was hitting on her or something. But then she
He
met
was.
Darcy.
He was.
Then she met Darcy, and she goes, "Oh my God, I really do." You know.
Wow, that's awesome.
But I knew, I knew Sean was. I had an inkling that that Tracy was, and I knew several others were. I knew I knew Daniel was, and I knew, and there was one on the show that was not, and he actually, when we get around a circle and pray together, because Sean would lead worship. He brought his guitar, and I
That's
had
awesome.
mine mailed to me after I said, "You can have a guitar here." So
Mhm.
I called home and said, "Tell her to mail my guitar to me."
Nice.
She mailed my Taylor through the mail.
Oh
to the
my
ranch.
gosh.
Anyway, we used to have worship in there, and we would pray in a circle before and after workouts or things, and this guy said, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna hold hands and bow my head and be with y'all, but I want you to know that I don't believe or anything. So,
I'm
but
an
he was the
atheist.
nicest guy,
Yeah.
and I have a weird feeling that that's changed. So,
Wow. You never know. My background in the Christian band stuff. You never know the people's lives who you affect. I still get emails all the time saying, "Ray, man, I saw Sacred Warrior, when I was 16 with my parents, and now I'm a pastor or a youth pastor or this or that, and you just never know. I'm sure y'all affected the lives of many people, being on the show, just representing, even if you don't go out and publicly say, "Hey, I'm a Christian," and y'all, it's your life. It's how you react to things, and just, Sean praying, and you guys doing worship in a group. Let me ask you this. This wasn't part of the questions, but when you guys were doing the praise and worship in the group, was everybody pretty much receptive of it or not too much?
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I felt like everybody was very receptive, at least of prayer.
Mhm.
I mean, for sure, we it was like, no one was going to refuse to be prayed for.
Right.
And I wasn't, I think back on it now, and I didn't want it. I didn't want it to feel, kind of, I don't know. I didn't want it to feel like it was disingenuous in any way. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So it was one of those things where it was like, we just did what we all normally do. We were all
Right.
ourselves pretty well.
That's
There
awesome.
wasn't a. I mean, in the beginning, those few weeks few weeks that I was there, it was very unpretentious. Everyone getting to know each other, just living life, and I don't know what other. I have no idea what other seasons behind the scenes and things like that were, but for us, we were all just laughing and talking and
That's great.
sharing notes, and yeah. It was like,
I wasn't a part of worship when we were all there because I was very angry when I was there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I was stands with the fist.
Yeah.
I was really angry at God. I was really mad.
And why was that? Because of what happened to you?
Yeah, what happened to me? I felt like why is this happening in my life right now? And I was really
Publicly.
angry. And everyone on the ranch when I got there was very jovial and very happy.
Mm.
And actually, Sean, you might not remember this, Sean, but I remember this. We're outside by the pool, and you just looked at me, and that's when you told me that you were praying for me.
Mm.
And I remember you it's still it kind of chokes me up a little bit when I think about it.
It's okay.
I remember it so well because I was so angry. I was
Mm.
so mad. And you just coming to me and telling me that just gave me like a sense of peace. I was still angry, but
Yeah.
it made me think, and it's like my mom's a pastor. I mean, I come from that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my world. That's what I
Yeah.
grew up in. And I love God, but I was
Mm.
really angry
Yeah.
for a long time. I was
Yeah.
angry when I was there. I was angry when I got home. But I remember that. I remember Sean,
And you know
took
what?
me aside, and she told me that you're like, I'm praying for you. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Girl,
I have loved you since the first moment I met you, and that has never changed. The amount or the level
you.
of prayer, and I mean, I think the world of you. So,
Thank you.
and
It-
again, none of us had any context of your life.
Yeah.
So when we were all of us when we were going through any of those things,
Mm.
we had no clue what people's home lives were like and what
Right.
was happening on the backside. So
Yeah.
it didn't change how I felt about it at all.
Right.
But it was
Right.
like later on, I was like, oh,
I never talked about
okay.
any of
I
my.
I know.
I never talked about anything. I never talked about it on camera. I never
Yeah.
talked about it when I was there. Another time that Danny spoke to me out on the ranch that was so profound was, and it brought God right back to the center. It made me think again because I was really angry. I'm sitting down eating, and I'm in the kitchen area, and I'm sitting by myself because I don't want to sit with anybody else. And I'm just like, that's how angry I am. Everyone's laughing and giggling. And Danny comes up to me and he sits down next to me. And I'm like, if you don't have anything nice to say, like, don't sit with me.
Mm.
And Danny, this is what he said. He's like, you know what? When, and he's eating, I think. He's just like real, just kind of casual. You know what? When we get back to Texas, because you're in Texas, not far from Oklahoma, you're going to go to Discovery.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
That pissed me off so bad. I'll tell you why. Because I looked at him and I'm like, I don't know
Oh, shoot.
I don't know what Discovery is.
Oh, you didn't even know it was a church.
What you sitting with me?
Oh, Danny, what was going through your mind?
Oh my!
You know, when I was well, number one, we were like Sean said, we were all for each other. But with Tracy, here's the deal, man. I went there to love everybody as much as in whatever way that they needed it, and I felt like she needed that. And
Totally.
when God tells you that somebody needs something, that somebody needs a discovery, or whatever that program brings,
Mm.
you know, I don't know, I'm not gonna hold it back, and so I had to do it. And you
Yeah.
know what? She went. A
Yeah.
year later, year and a half later, she went.
It took some kicking and screaming, but we made it.
Yeah. You know what, Tracy? When even in the moment when you're mad at God, it's okay. God's not up there going, "Well, I'm mad at Tracy." No, He's up there going, "I'm madly in love with Tracy. Come here. Let me love on you. Let me share. Let me carry your burden for you." And that's ultimately what I feel with Sean and Danny. They were to help carry your burden for what you were going through on the show. I mean, that is so powerful. And you're trying to block it off, but the Holy Spirit's saying, no, hold on. Hey, hold it. It's not about you. It's about me. I put these guys here for you because you need it right now.
There were 3 on the show, actually. Daniel, rest in peace.
Yeah,
he was
man.
another person that would just randomly just come up to me, just randomly just lay hands on me. He wasn't praying when he lays hands on me. He put his hands on me just to that was his way of letting me know, like, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you.
Wow.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Man, you're going to make me cry, though. I mean, just the memory of Daniel. And
I know.
I don't even want to get too deep in the woods with that, but he was sent by God to
Totally.
us there.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
I had
the
some
man was
really,
yeah. He was a strong person of faith.
totally.
You know what he did? I don't know if I've told you this or not, but number one, he was young, and he had character that wasn't his age. Okay.
Yep.
He was still a young guy, and he was still a kid.
Yep.
But he had a lot of character, and I was there with 2 kids at home. My wife, I'm gone. I'm the breadwinner. My wife she didn't work at the time. And so we were just relying on what little bit the stipend would get us,
Yeah.
And I was sending all my money home. Like every time we got a stipend check, I went right to the bank and deposited it and said, we didn't have our phone. So I tell the lady, will you please text Darcy and tell her that the money's in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And they would bring a massage therapist would come to the ranch every week, once a week. And I never went in there because you had to pay. These are something separate. This was something that you didn't, they didn't provide for you. He just came, and if you wanted one, you had to pay for it. And I said, man, I can't afford that. I got to send my money back to my wife. And one day they came in and said, Danny, it's your turn. And I was like, I didn't sign up. I don't have the money for it. Daniel paid for it.
Oh, wow.
Mine too.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Oh.
Wow. Tracy, you pay for yours too?
They came in.
I don't.
Sean, you're Chris.
I don't remember paying for my massages.
Yeah. Sean, it's your turn. I said, my turn for what? And there's a massage. I said, I didn't sign up for the massage. Same. I was sending every penny, just like what you said. Same thing. And it said, Daniel did. I was like, oh man. And listen, we were so sore and we were dog dead. Everything, our bodies was falling apart by the, and a massage was like, heaven, and I thought there's no way I can afford this. And plus what I do tell my wife, like, I spent $80 on a massage. Sorry guys, you can't eat this week, and so I didn't, and he did. It's same with what Danny, I mean,
it's crazy. Like, I'm so thankful that Daniel did that for you guys. It was such a blessing. But you know what I said about massage? That massage should be covered under health care. I never paid for a massage when I was on the ranch.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I never paid for a massage.
So your health care paid for it all.
Who took care of my massages? Somebody did.
Izanga.
Probably did.
Probably Hyzanga. I mean, just from all the stuff that you went through.
My massages were not. They were. I mean, you guys were like getting tissue and all that. Mine were like different. It was. More
I should have told Hyzanga I had like type 2 diabetes or something and got
right.
free
You should have done something.
Y'all,
I don't remember paying for them. I really don't remember paying for them. If I did, I'm like, how? I don't remember ever having any money.
Hey, all this talk about massages, I think my neck hurts.
Right?
No, but Daniel, I mean, honestly, to just bring it back to Daniel, I mean, we had lots of conversations about prayer. We prayed together. We had conversations about theology and what was happening there.
He was smart.
And I would ask him, like, what about this? Like, do you feel like this is unethical or whatever? He's like, no, poop before you weigh in. Okay, that's not unethical. That's just getting rid of the poop out of your body before you weigh in, And I'm like,
that's legit.
You, Daniel, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, it was a weird thing to say, but that's what it is.
No, like I said, this is what my show is about, guys. We're talking. You probably hadn't had these kind of conversations on any other show, right? I mean, this is why I love what the Lord has done for me with my show. We open up. We just have a conversation. I have a whole layout, but we're probably not going to hit on any of it, and I don't even care. I'm just blessed to have you guys on here and just have a great thing, and I can be at peace. I don't have to be all nervous,
Yeah, no.
Well, let me tell you, when Tracy was making some pretty crazy decisions. That's why they had nicknamed her Crazy Tracy. And
on the challenges?
Just, on all kinds of stuff. She was just making she was fighting to stay there. She was fighting for her life.
Yeah. We didn't know. We did not know.
I didn't tell anybody. I just moved it out.
Really?
And I probably know more than a lot of people because we've talked on the phone a lot over the years and told each other things. But I'm just saying, when we walked, everybody was like, "What?" It was the week when she split up the team. She didn't split up the teams on purpose. I didn't know why she did what she did, and I'll let her tell you that in a minute. But everybody was mad because Liz said, I can't lose Danny. I got to be with Danny. Liz was my
Yeah.
partner.
So mad.
And I said, well, she's not going to split us up because they're roommates. I mean, Tracy and Liz were rooming together, and she wouldn't do that, and she did it. And man, everybody was mad. Just and I'm walking up to the gym, and she's walking back, and I stop and look at her. We stop right next to each other, and she looks at me, and I was gritting my teeth, and I said, Tracy, I love you, but I'm really mad at you right now. And I walked back to the gym. I couldn't even say, you stupid George, why are you doing that? Because it's just, I couldn't do it. I was like, I love you, but I'm really mad.
Yep.
That house was in, they were up in arms. It was a tough day. It was tough days after that. It was hard.
Oh yeah.
I saw Felipe Fall in the bathroom. They were the season 7 contestants, Felipe and
Sione, yeah.
And Felipe walks in the bathroom. He sees me, and I mean, if you're in a CBS studio and you're there, then he sees somebody my size. He's like, he knew I was going to be on the show, and he told me, "Dude, hold on to your butt because some crazy stuff's going to happen in that house."
Oh man,
that's what he told me. And
I know, man. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you guys see this?
That's a wild picture right there.
Right.
I'll tell you what first thing that comes to my mind is good times, bad times.
Sure.
I had good times with those two, and I had bad times with those two. But Rashawn was right. Our first workout was like 3 hours long or something.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was nuts.
I felt like it was 20 hours long. I mean,
None of us had ever worked out before like that.
Oh, I know.
If it wasn't for them, though, Danny, you wouldn't be able to do this.
I remember that. I remember that moment. I remember that picture in that moment.
But wait,
Bob took that picture.
It gets better. You ready? You went from that to this, Danny.
Dude, Danny.
Wow. This mug right here. One day on The Biggest Loser, you can do round off back handspring. One day.
I'd have broke my wrists off. It would have been horrible.
That's amazing.
They called me Octo Dad because I had such a big belly.
Oh man.
I mean, I remember somebody told me, I was like, who was it? I think it was Rebecca said, Danny, I mean, your belly. She said, when we all sat around and we met each other for the first time, I was going, wow. She said, I was going, wow. And then she looked at me and goes, oh, man, that And I said, well, thank you.
The belly, though. That is so mean. I'd never heard that before.
Oh, dude, I had a 69.5-inch waist.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
So I was like about 3 inches from being a ball. I mean, I'm only like 60 or 71 inches tall or something.
You can't say this stuff, dude. Oh man.
You just say that.
I'm telling you.
You know what? If you've been on The Biggest Loser, that's just one thing I'll say. The only people that are allowed to say fat jokes to me or about me is the other contestants that I competed with. That's it.
Real.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Real.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm a big guy too.
Well, I mean, I can't tell there, but yeah.
But when I look in the mirror, I'm like, dang, that boy he's just fine, So I lie to myself every day, And
I say, look at this right here.
I'm kind of working on it a little bit, I got me a pair of these too. Don't worry.
Oh wow. Okay. You want to know something crazy? Let me. I gotta say something to Tracy because this has been floating around in my head. Tracy, everybody that watched the show did come up with some kind of scenario because of I think how they edited it all together and made it appear. And in some ways, the editing told us a little bit of a story that was. I mean, it was there, but it told a little more of a story than what it was. And I got to tell you, I've spent my whole 16 years. If anybody ever brings up anything about you or how that went or whatever, and they've asked or they be like, that's whatever. I'm like, I love Tracy. No one knew the things that was happening. And then when this documentary came out, they watched it and they were like, "Oh, okay." I mean,
That's why.
but listen, even in the documentary, you were very guarded, you know, about that, and I loved that because I felt like you were able to say what you needed to say, and it not be, you know, the center of it, whatever. Because you're a very strong, you know, like you're. I don't even know what your contract is, but whatever your contract is that is you for sure. And I say also too, Ray, just so you know, they went through Discovery, and I went through Pathways, which is another thing that's a lot like that. And so
Yeah.
we have a language, or you know, an understanding of this language, and the my contract is I'm a fun, loving, compassionate child of God. Like nothing changes that, you know, like
Right.
no matter like what my size is, no matter like what people think of me or whatever, like I'm God's child. I'm fun, loving, compassionate, you know, that kind of thing. And so
I'm a
Mhm.
joyful and passionate man.
there you go. There that's your
me.
contract. Okay. But and so what I'm saying, Tracy, is like I think what happened in this documentary is that you were able to finally say something that meant something for people that had questions about that. Like why would she choose that? Why did she eat the, you know, wasn't it that you ate a cupcake or something to take control or something? And all of us were like, we will never eat a cupcake. You know, like, look, I've eaten cupcakes this week, just so you know. We're just there you go, 4 pounds. You had that queued up like before we.
Yeah.
Of course, man. Dude, come on.
Right now,
This is
like,
my show.
I love it, dude. I love it.
You're
My-
awesome, man.
My favorite part of the show was, and I always think about this when I eat a cupcake. When Sean's like, "I want a cupcake and I want to rub it all over my
I
body."
rub it all over my face. I don't even want to eat
Every
it.
time I eat a cupcake, I'm like, just
Rub
rub,
it.
rub it all over me. I love it.
Sean's so good at that though, because like when we did the food thing, they were talking about, okay, how much sugar does the 2 liter of Coke have? You know, and then they cut to Sean's interview and he's going, I love Coke. I put Coke in my water bed. I like to swim
I
in
want to
Coke.
sleep
Coke
in
in my
water.
water.
I want to shower.
Yeah. When they asked, I mean, what's crazy is like, how much Dr. Pepper do you drink in a day? And I was like, well, I want to lie to you right now, but it's probably 3 2-liters worth every day. They're like, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm sorry. I said, you know, I mean, you know, you go to Quick Trip and you drink, you know, 3 of those, you know, 48-ounce guys or whatever, and you know, I mean, I'm ashamed of it, but I did it, you know, and
Sure,
so.
yeah.
But you know, when we said all that, you know, like I don't know if I want to eat that or rub it on my body, you know, like it's
my favorite. It was my favorite line of the whole
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
Thank you for saying that, Sean. I appreciate
no,
that.
I mean,
Thank
and
you.
I people just don't know, you know, and so I don't tell your story to them, but I say, you know, Tracy, you know, we love her, and she's, you know, whatever they painted that picture and whatever was really even happening, you know, it's real life is real life now, and you know, she's doing her thing. She's got beautiful children and grandchildren, and she's killing it, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, going to ball games today and everything.
Hey, the home run derby, and
That
Sean,
was
I
so
don't know if you
important
know
to
this.
you. You put all of us on hold. I mean, what's
I
up with
know.
that?
Well, my grandson was playing, and he played in the All-Star game tonight. It's kind of a
Oh,
big
that's
deal.
great.
So Sean, I don't know if you know this, but I was ignoring the email when they were trying to get me to go on that documentary because I was scared to death. Because I got a 439. I got it bigger than I was when I started the show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And so I was running scared, man. I was in this office every day, sitting right here, sending my crews out, doing my work, going home, loving my family and my life. But as far as, you know, I was happy. But then to think about going back on TV and being the guy that he was the biggest loser ever. That's what people called me.
Yeah,
And
man.
people still said the biggest loser ever. And then, well, he really is the biggest loser ever because he's fat again. I was freaking out. Well, Tracy called me. Tracy called me and said, haven't you seen these emails? And I was like, yeah, I've seen them. I don't know. I'm just done with all that. I don't know if I want to do that again. And she said, I'm not going to do it if you don't. And I went, why? Why? She goes, I don't know. I'm just not going to do it if you don't. She goes, I was thinking about it, but I don't understand why, literally like 30 minutes goes by after we hung up or something, and I sat there and I go, you know what? Somebody's going to tell this story, and who better than us? Why not us? You know.
Yeah.
So I called her and
Mhm.
said that, and we said, okay, we're in. We're doing it together. That's
And
what
I was like really serious because Mike Asvero from Netflix was, or Boardwalk Pictures was calling, and he's like, I really want you to do your story. I really want to get this out there, how you're portrayed, this and that. And I'm like, well, who else have you talked to? And he wouldn't tell me. And I go, that's fine. You don't have to tell me. But
Mm.
if you don't pull somebody from my group that I know, I'm not doing this. I go, Danny won the show. Why wouldn't you like pursue him? He needs to go. And he goes, oh, I sent him a couple of emails and he didn't answer me back. And I was like, I'll call him. And so that's how that whole thing started up. And I was really serious about that, Danny. I didn't feel like it was something that I could go and do by myself, because honestly, that whole experience, we were scared straight. I'm telling you, I was really scared. My anxiety, I wasn't sleeping. It was bad. I had to go back to therapy.
Wow.
It was bad. And
Wow.
Danny and I would spend so much time on the phone, just having conversations, pretty much talking to each other about, can we do this again? Can we do this again? Danny worried about, gaining more weight and being in the public eye again, and because he was the biggest loser and he is the biggest loser, and being in that eye again and people judging. And then I was looking at it like, what if they don't tell my story the way that it needs to be told? And then I don't want to embarrass my children. I don't want to embarrass my family.
Sure.
And even though I had this, tumultuous relationship with my ex-husband, and there was a lot of abuse that went on, and there was a lot that went on. I mean, there's so many layers as to what went on in my marriage, but I didn't feel ready to be a part of that story either. And my kids, who are all adults now, they shouldn't have to watch their mom on TV relive that life that they lived, because I spent so much time healing it and learning and doing better and getting us out of that situation. But guess what, too? I also didn't want to embarrass my ex-husband.
Yeah.
Because he's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just not. And so, and I've gone through that forgiveness part where I forgive him, and I don't want to embarrass him either. That's not the God thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm really thankful the way, so going back to Danny and I having that conversation, that's really the way it was. And I didn't feel like I could do it by myself. So I'm really
Well, I
thankful
sure
that you
didn't.
went on
I
that.
sure couldn't either. So, I mean, I wouldn't have done it had you not pushed my
I
button.
mean, we were just like talking to each other every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to Darcy, he was talking to me. We were just, and then we came up to a point, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, it was so stressful just doing the interviews and getting some information before the filming even started.
Wow.
Fun little fact.
Yeah.
Before I flew to California, Danny had already signed his contract to be on the Netflix documentary. They flew me out there and I still hadn't signed the doc. I still didn't sign the document.
Oh, wow.
Danny's like, Tracy, are you sure you're going? I'm like, Danny, they bought me a plane ticket. And he goes, where are you going? I go, I'm going. He goes, you didn't sign the contract? I'm like, I didn't sign it yet. I'm in hair and makeup.
And you still hadn't signed it?
I still hadn't signed it. Mike comes up to me and he's like, hey, kid. He's like, we're going to have to sign this contract. And I go, okay. And then my husband was there. He went with me to filming. He's there. And so I'm like, can I just have a minute with my husband? And so Chris comes in and he's like, babe, you really hadn't signed that yet, have you? I'm like, no. He goes, sign it. We're here. He goes, let's do it. Come on. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. And I crossed out a couple of things I didn't want in there.
Sure.
And
They gave you a script and stuff?
I'd already looked at it. I knew. I had two attorneys look at it. I called Danny. I'm like, Danny, this attorney says I shouldn't do it. And he's like, maybe you should find somebody else. Two attorneys said no. Anyway, I went through a couple of things, made some changes, and yeah, we just did it.
Wow.
John,
And I was talking with Danny I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know, he's probably told you this a million times, but he had said to me that you are like a daughter to him. He said, Tracy's
I'm too old to be your daughter.
no, that I was talking about Amanda when we talked
We're
about
talking about
that.
Amanda.
Oh, was it I thought we were talking about
Yeah.
Tracy.
No.
Oh,
She
erase that.
she is like my wife's sister, is what she is.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I
gotcha.
mean,
You're like
Yeah,
a
I
daughter.
can,
You
I can
had
call
one.
Darcy and just be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up? I'm too old to be your daughter, Danny.
That's awesome.
I don't know, man. You know,
That's the quote of the night. Brought to you
So-
by
Amanda
Doritos.
Amanda is the baby of the group, and she's like the daughter of
Yeah.
really is.
she
Oh,
she
yeah.
was my
Today's her birthday. Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Amanda.
I
happy
know.
Oh,
Happy
happy
birthday,
happy
Amanda.
birthday.
Yeah. So we just
Hey,
gave
so
it
the
away,
name of
like,
my show is It Wrong? So is it wrong for me to get information wrong? Yeah, it's wrong.
no. But I mean, like, whenever you air this, though, it'll be like a week from now or 2 weeks from now. But
A week, yeah,
on
yeah.
this day, this was Amanda's birthday. So
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Amanda.
That's right.
On this day, June the
That's
5th.
right.
That's
June
right.
5th.
That's right.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, June 5th was Amanda's birthday. She just turned what, 12, 13?
How old is Amanda?
Amanda
Well,
was like
Uh,
in her like
36,
late
I
30s.
think.
Yeah, I think she's in her like.
I was trying to
She
get-
was
30s, yeah.
She was 19, so that makes her 29, 36, something like
Yeah.
that.
That's what I
Yeah.
figured. I thought she was 19. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let
job.
me ask a couple of the questions I had in here. This is for all of you, but we'll start with you, Danny. After the camera stopped rolling, actually, before the camera started rolling, who is Danny Cahill? Was this whole journey, was it about losing weight, or was it about something completely different, something going on in your mind before the camera started filming? Who was Danny Cahill?
Well, Danny Cahill was a guy that lost 1,000 pounds, but he lost it 10 or 20 pounds at a time and gained it back. And he couldn't get, when I was in high school, I went home a sophomore at 250 pounds, 260. And I came back after that summer, 2.5 months, I came back at 165. So I knew I could do it. But I had to have a real reason why, and I had to find that why. Who? The Biggest Loser was like, I can't not do it if I go. It's like being in the Army. You can't go AWOL. That's because I'm going to get on. We're going to all walk in there. They're going to say Danny Cahill's a contestant, and then Danny Cahill walked off the show, or Danny Cahill failed at doing that. No, that's not who I am. I'm a very when I say I'm going to do something, I do it when I commit. So I said, that's I know I've done that before. I told my wife, I said, I've done that before. And if I get on that show, I'll be successful at it and I'll lose the weight. And she was praying for me. She had a prayer group that prayed I would want to get on the show before I'd ever even heard of the show or seen it. So awesome. God was all over this thing. I remember sitting at my desk during the trying out for the show and mad at God because I felt so strongly about it. I wrote in a journal that I need to do 3 things. It was a journal from Discovery, and I said I need to lose the weight, lose the debt, and be joyful and happy, and be joyful and passionate. And I said 1 and 2 can be achieved by winning The Biggest Loser, and I signed and dated it in like July of 2008. And so I was a guy that was fighting for his life. I was worried to death that I wasn't going to live to see my kids grow up. My daughter was saying, Daddy, I want a belly just like yours. And I didn't want to be that role model for her. Yeah. And so they were my why, was my family. And, and just trying to save my life for them. And that's all the more reason I'm down 89 pounds right now from my biggest, from where I was. Yeah. And they're my why again, because I want, both my kids aren't married yet, but they're dating seriously. So I want to see their wedding.
Yeah. How about you, Sean?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I mean, before the camera started rolling, I was, I was joyful. I was a family man. I had, 2 kids, a third on the way, during the show. My wife was pregnant with our 3rd child, Jillian. And, basically I loved God, and, where this was born out of for me was abuse in my childhood, physical abuse from from my mom and dad, and my adopted mom and dad, and you know, that was really difficult to overcome, and just I actually kind of went the opposite way. I didn't want to be angry, and I didn't, but I didn't know how to work on not doing things like eat to feel good, you know, and you know, I used humor in all the wrong ways. You know, now I use it in the proper way, you know, now that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I, you know, honestly, it's one of those things where I wanted to be whole for what I thought was for my family, and through the process, I understand that I need to be whole for me so that I can be for my family, for my
Absolutely.
wife, those things. You know, it's really not for them, but it's to be whole in those places, you know. So you know, I have learned, so I learn every day. I mean, I don't know all of it, but I am doing the best that I can do to learn and grow and become. And you know, I am down from my starting weight that I was on the show, and I think a lot of people read, you know, because we did like a New York Times article, and it was like they named a number or something, and I don't remember giving a number. It's like he's
Right.
50 something, and I was like, I don't remember being all that, you know, but you know, whatever, it's cool, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, and then people still even if they know about the process, they're like, you know, hey, that's cool. So I mean, like lately, I started to use Manjaro, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
I know if whoever watches this, if they don't like it, they're gonna be like, Sean, don't do that, you know, whatever. But I'm, you know, there's for me the first time in my whole life, and not even through Loser. I'm telling you right now, the first time in my whole life, all the noise of food is off in my head. I using this, and my A1C was up, and so my insurance, you know, it covers it, and so I take Manjaro, you know, or tirzepatide or whatever, GLP-1, you know, however you want to say it, but
Sure.
I'm telling you, I don't think about food 24/7. I don't think about how I'm going to get it next, or like I don't get anxiety about making sure I have the right thing, or if I'm going to get enough, or if I'm going to feel full. It's incredible. Even during Loser, all I was doing was suppressing that feeling. I was working out and saying, no, I will never. I stand on the Bible of weight loss. You know, it's like it was still there. And now that I'm using it, you know, I've lost some weight doing it, but I love the feeling of not having that noise in my head. So yeah,
That's good. That's good. All right, you know where I'm going with this. What about you, Tracy?
Whew.
You want
So
to
the
talk
question
about
is,
this? You good?
who was I before The Biggest Loser?
Yeah, I mean, we know your story, but anything you
Sure.
want to share with us? You know,
Well, obviously I was a mom and I was a wife, and I was not doing well. I think I was facing what a lot of women face, trying to keep behind closed doors quiet so that no one knew what was going on, and put on a happy face when I walked out the door, and make sure my kids were dressed nice, and we showed up at church, and we went to sporting events, and we went out to dinner as a family, and just trying to keep that mask up and the facade that everything was okay when really it was not okay.
yeah.
And you know, I applied for The Biggest Loser, and I wasn't picked because they wanted couples, and I didn't have anyone to go with me. And they called me and said, "Hey, we're going to do couples. You know, do you have someone to go with you?" And I was like, "No one in my family has a problem with their weight except for like my grandmother, and she can't go." And I was like, "Oh, I have a friend. Maybe she would want to go." And so I asked her, and she's like, "Heck no, I'm not doing that." And so I called Holland back, and I'm like, "I can't. I don't have anyone to go with me." She's like, "We'll keep you in mind for the next time." And then she called.
Wow.
And when they called, I was all in. I didn't go on the show to play a game, and I didn't go on the show to win money. I went on the show because I thought that losing weight was going to fix my marriage, and I thought it was going to fix pretty much everything in my life, because I felt like my weight was affecting everything that was going on in my life, and I thought that was the reason why. And it wasn't until I was on the show and I saw these wonderful men that God put in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan, Rudy, Danny, Sean, Daniel, just seeing these men who were missing their wives, who were talking about their families. I just remember looking at them in awe and thinking, wow, you guys are like really good men.
Mm.
And I didn't have that at home. And I wondered, I'm like, I know that the person that I wanted to be that person wasn't doing that while I wasn't there. And so it was while I was on the show that I just kind of stood up and thought, I am absolutely going to change everything from here on out. I am not
Wow.
going to be the same person.
Wow.
And I went home and did exactly that.
That's incredible. How did that affect your husband? I mean, was he, sorry, I had a spider just come down and I literally crushed it with my fingers and now I got a web on me. I'm not doing drugs, guys. I swear.
You got a spider on your head.
No, he was coming down. I clicked it. I put you. I maximized you. I'm sorry. And I see this thing coming down. I thought it was like fuzzy floating. I'm like, and it's doing this, and I'm like, and I grabbed it and I crushed it. And I threw it down, and when I went down, I got this spider web on my head.
Sorry, spiders are friends too.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
those spiders were harmed in the filming of this podcast.
Right.
That's right.
Before I had met everyone on the show, I had already made that switch flip while I was in the hospital. That's why when I came on the show, I was angry. And I had already made that switch, for one, because I almost died. But something happened while I was in the hospital. And Dr. Huizinga had come in my room and I had just hung up the phone from calling home because I thought that I was going to go home. I like in my heart, I talked to my mother, I talked to my ex-husband, and I'm like, I'm going to go home. Like, I am not well. And I had called to have like that conversation with my husband at the time of, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And he didn't answer the phone. And I thought to myself, I'm like, you're not answering the phone. I am like fighting for my life right now. Where are you? And I had access to his voicemail. And I listened to the voicemail and I heard other women on the phone leaving him messages about plans that were going to happen that night. And I'll see you tomorrow. And there were multiple on there. And I hung up the phone, and right when I hung up the phone from listening to those messages, Dr. Huizinga walks in the door, and he's like, oh my God. And I was like losing it, crying. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm dying over here and you're still doing this at home. My life is not going to change. No one's going to save me. I'm going to have to do this myself. And that's when he walked in the door and he's like, what's wrong? Sits on the edge of my bed. And we just talked. And I told him what was going on. He's like, okay, you got a decision to make. We're going to get rid of this phone. We're going to pretend you're already on The Biggest Loser and you have no contact with anybody. He's like, I'm going to have the nurse come in and take your phone out. So they took the plug-in phone. He's like, you need to get better. And the more you call home and think about home, you're never going to get better.
Sure.
And so we did that. And then, almost 2 weeks went by. And then I did start getting better. I started, doing things for myself and getting better at the hospital, and I had physical therapy and all that. So it was that time that I had already made that switch of, and then I get to the show and I meet these wonderful men and I meet these wonderful people, even though I didn't tell anybody they were wonderful because I didn't like anybody when I was there. In my heart of hearts, I thought about the guys like, wow, they're really like good people. But I was still mad.
Sure. See, there are a few of us good men still left.
That was the switch for me. And then honestly, the show was super hard. It was like one of the hardest things I've done, but actually going home was the hardest thing I've ever done. Ending my marriage was the hardest thing that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Learning and that's why when I went through Discovery, I learned that I am forgiven and I can forgive myself because I need to make choices for myself and my children. And that was my contract, is that I am forgiven because I felt guilty that I'm going to end something that I was supposed to keep sacred and have for the rest of my life and only do it one time. And I did it before God and my family and everybody, but I was also being harmed in that. And God does not want that for you. He wants you to do things for yourself. He wants you to do the right thing. If that other person is going to be along with you and you guys are going to do it together and it's 50%, then do it. But if you don't have that 50%, you need to make a choice for yourself, and you need to get yourself out of it.
That is
That's
so
what he
good.
wants.
That's good. That's
Hey, big shout
You-
out to Dr. Hyzanga.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey,
If
Tracy,
you're
you
watching
preach
this,
this.
Dr. H, like, good.
The deal.
Good
Dr.
work
H and I
right
are-
there, yeah.
I mean, Dr.
We
H
need-
and I are great friends.
We need to
That's awesome.
send him a copy of this once I
He
release it
knows.
to you guys.
I talked to him today.
I
Oh,
feel
does
like
it?
that's
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pivot point though. No one knows about that. None of us
No.
really know about that. And he's like,
No.
if you're gonna do this, you got to do it. You got to do this. You got to, and he was right. I mean, I don't know, I don't know what it would have been like had you kept your phone, but I'm like, come on. I mean, like, you really did get well enough to come back to the ranch
Yeah.
and do
But-
your thing, and I think it was because
That's what
of
he
that.
said. He's like, we have to get you stronger, or I can't take you back there. He's like,
Yeah,
we just if you want to do this, I'm like, get me physical therapy in here, get everybody in here, wash my hair for God's sake. Like, somebody wash my body. I mean, that's how sick I was. I could not stand up to give myself a bath.
Wow.
Oh wow.
By the way, just to let anybody know, if you're ever in the hospital and you're in like ICU, they put a cap on your head and it has shampoo in it, and that's how they wash your hair.
Okay.
And then someone comes
Wow.
someone comes in with a little sponge and they sponge bath you. I'm
Yes.
not kidding you. In all your glory.
I've had that. I spent
I've had-
a long time in the hospital with my leg. I was telling the guys before you logged on, I had gotten flesh-eating bacteria in my leg,
Oh my gosh.
and it was so bad. The meat just falling
Mm.
apart and everything. And I was on a PICC line for 5.5 months. I was in the hospital 11 days, hallucinating for like 48 hours. It was bad. It was, and I got the same treatment, the little sponge bath, and they didn't do my hair thing though for some reason, probably because I don't have a lot of hair. They squirted some water on my hair. You're good, But I didn't get all that treatment, But yeah, Tracy, it's amazing the amount of number one trauma that you went through, but just how strong you've come through it. Earlier you got a little emotional about thinking about what you're going through, but God is using you, and He's going to use you so powerful with that kind of testimony, because you've been through something that a lot of people go through, a lot of women. And that's what I was going to say. I don't know if women are reaching out to you. Hey, I'm kind of in that same position as you were and stuff. And you can have a chance to say to them the same thing the doctor said. Hey, you need to hang up on that life and move forward with, your healing and physical and mental healing, healing your heart from all the hurt you've had from your spouse, and who knows, maybe that's why, that's the way God may be using you now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Of course. Yeah. There was a reason
Man,
why I didn't.
that's
leave that
powerful.
day. There's a
Yeah.
reason why I was able to carry on and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I saw my grandfather that day, and he's
Mhm.
not been here for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw him sitting there. What was happening was I was in the helicopter and we were going over water. I don't remember any of that, but what I remember is I felt like I was in like this tunnel and there were bleachers on the side, and my grandpa is just sitting way over there, and I see him clear as day. I see his face.
Wow.
He's smiling at me. It's my Papa Sam, and I just saw him, and I'm just looking at him. He's still way far away. It's completely black. I don't see
Wow.
nothing. Let me tell you something. I don't ever want to see that black again.
Oh, I bet.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever see, because you don't see anything. When I tell you, it's like your background right now, Sean, you're outside, the sun went down. By the way, that was a beautiful setting right before the sun went down. I wanted to say that, but I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
It's so black. I don't want to ever see that again.
Mm.
And then it was light. And I like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Danny, you were going to say something there?
Yeah,
That was-
No, I was just going to say, using that way you put that, hang up on that part of your life. I mean, that's powerful. That's
Yeah.
powerful because we'll sit there and talk with the stuff, with those voices inside our heads that are telling us we ain't good enough or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't deserve better or whatever those things are. And man, you need to hang that sucker up, throw it
Yeah.
away. That's
Yeah.
just powerful. And that's
Yeah.
a great analogy with if I were writing you a speech, Tracy, I would definitely use that.
It was hard. I feel like that was the hardest. That was the absolute hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life, was come home from the show, be in the public eye, the ridicule around it, watching the show,
Mhm.
watching what was going on. And I just hunkered down. I just hunkered down. I stayed quiet. I was thankful.
Mhm.
Every interview I ever did, you can go back and look, every interview I ever did while the show was going on and after the finale, I was just positive. I was thankful. And I just knew that that was like, I didn't know, but like I did know. I was still angry, but I was trying not to be angry. But it was just like God just like going, just be positive, be smart, be strategic with your words, don't embarrass your family. Just just
That is
stay
good.
with it. And so,
Yeah.
and I did. That's what I did. And I will say, Dr. H, that's what he said to me. Like, stay positive, Tracy. He goes, just stay positive. You did really good. Just stay positive. And so I
Mhm.
just kept that in my mind. And I got back into church when I went home, and I just did my best to get through this anger. But it was hard. There was a lot that went on over the years, but I came out on the other side. I
Yeah.
did all right.
And another real good thing that came out of this whole thing is, I know Sean and Danny, you guys were already buddies, but it created a bond between you guys.
Oh,
You know,
totally.
you still talk. I don't know how often or whatever, but I got you all on here now. We're just there's bonds can come out of tragedy, right?
Totally.
No
Oh yeah.
matter how, whether it be a bond between a paramedic or a fireman and somebody who was hurt or whatever. Or in your case, the people on the show with you, and it's like I the Bible calls it iron sharpening iron. That goes so deep. You know what I'm saying? It's not just it's you can sharpen iron in another person as in being a friend with them and being an encourager with them and not say one word about the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You can sharpen
Absolutely.
each other. Yeah. And so we need that from each other, and I see that in you guys. I think it's fantastic. I
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, that's
I'm not trying to give away where Danny lives, but where Danny lives, when I go to that town, which is maybe once or twice a year, I try to see him. We have a
sure.
text line that we all text each other when it's our birthdays or some big milestone or
Yeah.
somebody, I mean, we all are in communication with each other, and the ones that want to are, and the ones that
Mhm.
aren't, and that's okay. And
Yeah.
we're all just really trying to live the best lives that we can live.
Mhm.
There's zero pretension, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Sean, do you often after the show and now your life now and being a youth pastor, so to speak, do you often think about some of the things that you learned being on the show? Because obviously y'all learned a lot from being on the show, whether good or
Yeah.
bad. Does that come to mind into your everyday life?
I mean, yeah, a lot of it does. I mean, I'm a campus minister at a K through 12 Christian school,
Mhm.
Mount Dora Christian Academy, and basically, that, and when I was a full-time worship minister, and when I was a youth minister, all those things, they informed what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the and it wasn't like the it wasn't like specific lessons, I guess, but it was like the
Mhm.
content of our lives that we were
Yeah, man.
sharing and knowing with each other that gave us such a deep connection.
Right.
That is, I try to replicate that in every way possible with every ministry I'm ever in. Just real life, real content, really walking with
Mhm.
people, and that's how you love someone. That's how you
Yeah.
and that's how to be loved. Like
Yeah.
to walk with someone and for them to know, the content of your life and your heart, and be heart level with them. That's
Yeah.
what we're missing so deeply, is that you walk with all these people, you work with them, but you don't really know them, and you don't know the things that they hurt with and struggle with, and
Mhm.
not everybody's really earned that,
Right.
honestly.
Sure.
But in ministry, I feel like walking with them long term, and this is actually like something that I learned with Tracy right off. When she came in, she was angry and trying to do everything she could, and we were all like baffled, like, okay, slow down, girl. We go everything, like we're trying to like wink our eye, like, we're cool here. Like, we ain't trying to kick you out. Like, everything's cool. You know, like, we ain't gonna vote you off the island. This isn't Survivor or something. You know what I mean? But she was fighting a battle that no one knew.
Right.
Yet, people like Daniel and Danny and Julio, and they all just like loved her deeply, and I loved her deeply. You know what I mean? We weren't like like, get this girl out of here. We were just like, okay, what is actually going on? Well, it takes a level of that, like, where you love God and you've walked life and you've seen, like, okay, something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not trying to just get them out of your life. You're trying to say, okay, what is it? What can we do to help? How can we walk with you? How can we, some people earn that and they hear it, and then you walk with them, and some people don't, and that's the people that are in your path, you do that with, and so, yeah, but it's a beautiful thing though.
Yeah, I
We're
was
all
gonna say
changed.
sometimes people just want somebody to just sit. Job, couple of friends, just sit with me. Don't say nothing. Just be there for me. Because you don't know what they're going through, and you don't know sometimes what to say. And sometimes the biggest Jesus people are going to see is you just sitting there patiently and just, I'm right here. Tracy, I'm here. Let me put my hand on your shoulder. I'm right here. I'm just letting you know I'm here.
Yeah.
This family of Biggest Loser too extends even to other seasons. Like, I have I have a great friend, Mark, who was on, what season was he on with Fredo? What season was that? 8 or 9? 10. So it was the season after us. He lives in Jersey. When he comes here for work, he stays at my house. He came to Texas when I lived in Texas. And I was going through a really hard time when he came to visit. I think Danny knows the story, but it just extends through other Biggest Losers. We are someone before we were on the show, and then it changed all of us for the better.
Sure.
It truly did.
One time, Sean, you said something to me and Darcy. You came over for the 4th of July. Do you remember that? Your kids swam in the pool.
Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
It was a long time ago.
It's been a long time.
He's like, don't lie on me now, Danny.
I'm making stuff up here.
No, I remember this. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, we were having issues with the people that we were doing a training with, and we were like, we don't know if we're supposed to stay with it, whatever. We're struggling with it, and you just like you have wisdom beyond your years too. You look up at us and you go, what's great, Danny, is that me and my wife, we get to make it up. Anything, we get to make our life up. That's the best thing. We get to make it up as we go. We get to do what we want. We get to make it what we want. I don't care what anybody else thinks. We get to make it up as we go. And I'm like, literally, we'll still say that. Darcy will still say, you know what, baby? We're making it up as we go.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
it awesome?
great.
And
Can I steal that? Can I steal that? I like
Feel
that.
it. Yeah. I got it from the training that I did. It was basically create a great life. Like, you're creating it. You wake up in the morning and you're making the rules, and hopefully, as believers, in Jesus and following God's, leading in your life, you're consulting that wisdom, and you're not just out there all, lone wolf doing your thing. But
man.
The thing is that everybody that wakes up in the morning gets to create the life that they want to create.
That's right.
And if you are in a bad space, Tracy's proof of this. It can change.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to stay that way. I was so happy when, you and Chris, got together and got engaged. I was like, oh, this is so great. It's not. That's not what it is. The story isn't written and ending right there. You were literally waking up and creating something great.
Cool.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Let's talk a little bit more about the show. Just I'm curious about, we've seen a lot of, Jillian and Bob Harper and how they were with you guys on when the cameras are rolling. For them, when that all stopped, did they change their demeanor, or were they still drill sergeant, just hardcore? Okay, nobody's talking. Are you guys under contract? You're not allowed to say something?
No, they were. You know what? They were like they were. I mean, they were who they were. Okay,
Yeah.
and I mean, and I've hung out with Jillian. We went to get our nails done one time, but I didn't do it. I just watched her get her toes.
Sure.
But
You
I'm
went pink.
saying, what you see is what you get. That's who she is,
Yeah.
and Bob's who he is. But when you go in that gym, Bob was telling the truth on the documentary. They want to see people that you got to have something exciting happen, and
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, they turned it up a few notches.
Drama builds the show, right?
But I'm gonna tell you, she's just as crazy off as she is on. She's just But I'll tell you, she also knows her stuff. She's smarter than a whip.
Oh wow.
She knows. She's one of those people that if she don't know it, she's gonna figure it out. So,
Oh yeah. Did you guys develop any kind of friendships with them after the show or no? Was it all just the show?
I mean, I stayed in touch with Jillian for a while, but it was different on 8, and this is because we have relationships with people from other seasons. So I know people from season 1, 2, 3, 4, and they were like, "Oh, back then, Jillian took me to a party." And I remember going into Tom Hanks' house, and we're like, and I go in the kitchen, and there's Meg Ryan, and
my goodness!
And I'm going, well, they didn't do any of that crap for us. Oh yeah, they bought us all Biggest Loser rings. Somebody bought somebody a motorcycle. Jillian did or something.
Oh my
Like
goodness!
they didn't do squat for us. Jillian made me walk her dog 7 around the ranch, which was like a hellhound that would chase those little stupid squirrels, and then she made me walk her dog. What the heck?
That's great.
So by the time they got later in the process, they were famous, and it does change people. I mean, I would want to say it would not change me, but I say that's the reason I never ever made it really big in music, because I'd have killed myself. I mean, something bad had happened. It would have changed me. God said, "Nah, you don't need that, buddy."
And that's actually one of the things I was going to ask you guys is how did this, not just by physically and like we were talking about mentally, but did it change who you are as a person? Sean, I think you're probably the same guy you were on the show, just fun loving kind of guy. But did it change you guys at all? I mean, Tracy, I know with you through the drama and everything, but how did the show really change you guys? Who the core of who you are is or not? You know what I'm saying?
They say that things like this, like being on a reality television show or winning the lottery, it's basically just a magnifying glass of really who you are deep down in your soul. And so the truth of the matter is that right after things got done and I was traveling a lot and speaking at churches and events and things like that, there was a little time period in there where I kind of got tired and I started to eat a little bit off my own buffet. I was never meant to have any of that. The glory was all God's, but I would get in there and eat all, smoke my own stash or whatever you say that. Am I allowed to say that? I'm not okay, but
you can say this is my is it wrong?
Is it wrong? Right. But my wife, Misty, she's incredible. My wife is amazing, and she, one time she said, I saw that interaction with that person, and I don't recognize that guy. That's not Sean. That's guy on TV. That's not Sean. And I thought for a second, I was like, you know what? You're right about that. And she just has a great. She's incredible. She's got a super amazing heart, and she wasn't being mean about it, but she was like, don't eat that. Don't. This isn't for you. This is for God. All of it was for God. Everything was for God. It was never meant for you to be puffed up or get a thing or be rich or whatever. Even if you are going to make money doing things, it wasn't about that, So I think all of us probably went through a little phase where you felt it and you did something a little different, but then time and even the stretch of time that you get away from it pulls you back into normal. The after the first several months, you're like, of course I'm that guy, and then 2 years into it, I'm selling copiers, in Tulsa because I can't find another job, and I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. No, sir, would you like to buy this copier? Would you? And
You know what's
they're dumbfounded. I walk into their office and they're like, what are you? And I was like, I'm with the copier company. And they're like, we're buying it. Whatever you're selling, we're buying. I was like, I need to make the quota. So, you know, it's wild. And I think God, if you really watch it, God has really amazing ways to just show you who you are, but not puff you up in that. You know, lift you up into a space where you're like, this is who I am, and it's beautiful, but it was always his design, his glory
about him.
You know, yeah. So,
and it's funny you should say that, because my wife, who's in the other room in her paint studio, can hear me right now. She says this to me all the time. She's like, babe, it's not about you, you know, or that what I'm hearing, that's not really that's not, you know. And I'm like, so we have this thing. We haven't fought ever, really. I have such a great relationship with my wife. I'm just very proud of that. But the way we play fight is she'll say something that I don't like, or I'll say something she don't like, and I'll just go like, you know, and then we laugh about it.
Yeah.
That's our fighting, you know.
I mean, honestly, just kind of like we're talking though, people would be like, you know, Danny Cahill? And I was like, what do you mean know him? Yes. And they're like, I mean, I would kill if I could. I'm like, well, we just go over to his house and see him.
We'll just call him.
What do you,
yeah, there you go, Tracy.
You know,
we'll just call him. Hey, hold on. Hey, Danny.
I mean, it is. It's a beautiful thing to be floating in the clouds, but also be very grounded at the same time.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're right, Sean. There was a time when I was speaking like a mad dog, flying 100 times a year, and sitting on the plane up there in first class, and you know, I'm going to my next job. This is what I do for a living, you know, and yeah, it just it can kind of elevate you a little bit, and then yeah, when that happens, I can always count on God to bring me back down to earth. He will,
yeah, man.
And but I will say one thing. My wife, anybody asked my wife, and they used to all the time. It was Danny. You know, when they would watch the show, they'd say, "Is Danny really like that in real life?" And she'd say, "Exactly. That's him. That's who he is."
Yeah.
You know?
Wasn't no facade. It was the real deal. Yeah.
Hey, and
Sean was
just a sidebar, Danny. One time when we flew together to an event, Danny had amassed so many. Listen to me. He had amassed so many miles and was like double gold status. Platinum, you know, they named a plane after him. And here's little old Sean, like, help me,
I know him.
You know, like, yeah, and Danny was like, I want you to be in my first class seat. I want you to sit in the seat.
Oh, nice.
And you let me sit in your seat. And I don't
remember that.
Was it when we went to DC, or I don't know what we did?
It was when we went for the testing.
Okay, and I was like, whoa, this is, and I went up there and I did it, and I was like, this is what they do. They bring you hot towels, and I was like, I'm
headphones,
I'm missing the whole
Get
thing.
a blanket.
Yeah.
They're like, do you want the chicken or the fish? That ain't a joke. These mugs bring the chicken or the fish.
Yeah. Hey, Danny, I got 3 shows in Nashville at the end of the month. Can you hook me up with some plane tickets?
They're all used up. You know what? It even happened to me in Ireland, going to Ireland, and I didn't have miles. I bought a family, me and my wife and both my kids. We went on a Cahill trip to Ireland in 23, and back in 23, we got on this plane, and I'm big again at this point, and I'm sitting in that seat, and I'm going, whoa, I'm squeezed in it, and the English guy goes up and goes, sir, you know, you look a bit uncomfortable, you know. I might have a more comfortable seat for you. And I'm like, man, I'm not leaving my family. And I look over at Darcy, and she goes, he hasn't go figure it out. Well, he takes me to the back of the plane, and we walk up these stairs to the second level of the plane.
Oh, nice.
And it ends up being in first class.
Wow.
So, you know, God pays you back.
Heck
30
yeah.
minutes before we landed, I went back downstairs, and they said, how was it? I said, it was first class. And they were all just like,
chicken or fish. That's
Oh
awesome.
man! But I know Tracy and Sean and all the people. What you saw, the people you saw there on our season, that was who everybody was. Period.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm a completely different person than I was then.
No, but I knew, but I got glimpses of who you were. I did,
Yeah.
even on the bus to the first day, and then when you came back, we weren't at each other's throats.
Yeah.
I was
You
scared.
know,
I was really scared when I was there, and I didn't want anybody to know that. I was trying my best to just put on this facade because that's where I used to live. Like, everything's fine. Everything's going to be okay. I used to actually sit in the kitchen area and wait for everybody to go to bed so that no one would see how hard it was for me to actually walk to go to bed.
do you
And
remember?
just that.
Or,
Do you remember you one time you Dan, we always said the kids. The kids were like Sean, Daniel. They were just people that were younger than us.
Yeah.
And she goes, "They're over there, and I don't want them to see me struggle. Can you help me to my room?" And so, like, I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I stood up and helped her up, and we just act like we had our arms around each
Yeah,
other.
we were acting like we
walked
were like
out,
goofing off, and he actually helped me
goofing
to my
off,
room.
and
wow.
But normally
so
I
I-
would just sit and I would wait for everybody to leave so that no one would actually see. That's what kind of like
Yeah.
mask I had while I was there. So that no
Sure.
one would
Yeah.
see how much pain I was in. I was in so much pain when I was there. Like so much pain. My whole body hurt.
Wow.
Not just from the exercise, from the accident.
Yeah. Sure.
And
Believe me, I know
I
about
just,
pain, girl. I know.
yeah, I just
With my
didn't
leg and
want
stuff.
anybody to know. So I was living the same way I was living before I came on the show. Like I didn't want anybody to see. I'm going to keep a mask. I'm just going to, throw some bobby socks on and, a pretty dress and just make it happen.
So who are
And-
you now? Loving
Oh.
wife, loving mother, soccer mom, not soccer mom.
My kids are all grown now. I have 3 grandchildren. I'm
That's
very
awesome.
busy, involved. Yes, love my family. I am super fierce now. I am more
That's
fierce than
awesome.
I ever knew that I could be. I actually really like who I am now. I actually
That's
love
great.
myself. I really
So if
do.
there was one thing, Tracy, that you could be thankful for being on that show, what would it be?
I'm actually thankful that I had an accident on the show. I think that I needed to have something so grave happen in my life to
Mhm.
make me make a change. Because I don't know if I ever would have made a change if everything would have just been okay.
Wow, that's powerful.
And
Because
that's
look
a
at you
really,
now.
and I've had to go through a lot of therapy to say that.
I'm sure.
But the struggle from that accident to go home to make the changes happen,
Mhm.
because you think like the accident and being in the hospital and being on the show is the hardest thing. No, hardest thing is
Right.
going home and living in the public eye and trying to figure my life out, and then and losing. I lost anything of monetary value in my life just to save my life and my
Mhm.
children. I
Yeah.
just held up my hand. I just held up my hands. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, take it all. I
That's
just want to live again.
That's like a sign of surrender, right?
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Love it, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. For
How
sure.
about you? How about you, Danny? Okay, that's enough. Sean, no, I'm kidding.
I think that's good. I think I'm Rudy and Julio used to always pick on me. I'm an easy target, so I'm always happy to be the butt of the joke. I will tell you that.
Hey, that's all right, man.
Yeah, and I think it was that. I think it was a gift. That was the hardest 6 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days I ever spent in my life.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Well, who's
nothing
counting?
counting.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing what happened, and not as an accomplishment,
Mhm.
but I think that I remember one day running. I wouldn't let myself watch TV at home after we had gone home because we go home for 4 months, about 3 months, 3 weeks, and well, that's
Lost your mic. We can't hear you, Danny. Danny.
Can you
we
hear
can't
us?
hear
We
you.
can't hear you. Maybe his headphones went out.
Okay, there it is.
There you
I'll,
go.
Can you hear me
I'll
now?
translate for him for what he was saying.
I got a call. You
I
can hear
like
me now.
dogs. Okay, well, no.
Gotcha.
No, okay, here's the deal. I wouldn't let myself watch TV without being on the treadmill, and I had a treadmill in my living room.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm sitting there and we're watching The Biggest Loser, my season, because it's airing at the same time. And I'm on the treadmill and my son's sitting there. We're watching the episode for the first time live. And my son's sitting there looking at the TV, and then he looks up at me. And then he looks over at the TV and he looks over at me. And I see him, his head doing that. I go, I get up, jump off of it. I said, what's going on? What's up? He said, no, nobody loses weight like this. And I said, son, your dad does. And I said, and Mary went through the same kind of stuff. And I am grateful that they saw that, because I've been in some real pickles before in my life and felt there was no way out.
Mm.
I've been in, had no hope, lost all hope, and God was the only thing that reached me out, or that reached down and pulled me out. But for them to see that, I think that that may have given them the idea in their mind that and I told them this, there ain't nothing you can't come back from. If you dug yourself in a hole, stop digging, talk to God, and do something different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm grateful for, is that my kids saw that. And
That's awesome.
Maybe that's going to change something in their life someday.
Yeah, man. And how about you, Sean?
I mean, what I gained through that process was just knowledge and friendship and family and people that I love and that I call on all the time and that I talk to and that I trust. I still remember all the things that I gained from that time period, and I still use them even now. There's not, I mean, a lot of people said, and I think it was just to hype us up at the beginning, but they were like, your life will be before loser and after loser, or whatever. And just to be real honest, I mean, yes, that was a huge thing. And there is a before loser and after loser and that kind of thing. But, just like in Tracy's life, I don't think before loser and after. I think now that you're living, now that you're free, and those things maybe feel more more like life, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's the what was gained from that, and then what has held on all this time, and it's been the relationships, it's been the love, you know what I mean? And so I know that sounds really kitschy and cheesy. Like the love is
no, not really,
but I mean it. I mean, we all
sure.
We all can count on each other. Like, I'll be honest with you right now. If I were to get on this text line right now with all of our people, if I were to get on this text line and say, I'm in Florida at this address and I need help and I need someone to come here to me, I know that anyone that could literally physically leave whatever they were doing and come to me, they would come to me and help me. And I know that sounds nuts, but I'm telling you, it's real. There's been prayer for each other. There's been, when big things happen, it's like, hey, pray for us. I mean, with going through all that with Daniel and Rebecca, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't even grieved all that all the way. I'm just telling you this out loud. Rebecca, if you're watching, I mean, I'm still going through pieces of that I haven't even touched yet. And I mean, yeah, but yeah, the love, the relationships, I love that came out of that.
That's incredible. Tracy,
I just want to say something real fast about what you just said, Sean, that you haven't grieved Daniel yet. Something that I've learned about grief over the years is it will happen when it's supposed to happen, and it just waits for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really does.
Well,
it waits for you when you're ready.
So really, and I've not talked about this very often. I've not really had a platform to talk about it, but Daniel passed a few days before my sister-in-law passed from breast cancer.
Oh man.
And so it's my wife's sister, we were very close to them. She was 46 years old. I mean, she was young and left behind 3 boys. And I mean, there was just this grief on top of grief on top of grief happening at that moment. And so I don't, while I was grieving that, I didn't take a minute to grieve that. And I appreciate you saying that, Tracy, because I agree. And in some places, and this is, I feel like we're getting real deep in the weeds here, but
it's okay.
I don't know if, like, I've told my counselor, you know, things that I felt about Daniel and how I've missed him and, you know, those kind of things. But I don't think I've done a very good job of saying that and being that way with Rebecca. And Rebecca is now married, you know, again, has children, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm not saying I won't have these conversations, but I just, all of these things, they're very real. For as much as people watch the television show or watch the documentary or whatever this is, I'm telling you, like, these are real life, real relationship, real, you know, I performed their wedding.
Wow.
You know, so when Daniel and Rebecca got married, I performed their wedding. That. I mean, like, yeah. So, I mean, and so it's these are just very deep, real feelings, you know, that they live in there, and sometimes they have a place to come out and sometimes they don't. But anyone that's watching this, I want you to know that for season 8, for our people, it was a very real relationships, very real, you know, we love each other and we want the best for each other, and we don't have an expectation of each other. I could care less if I want Danny to be happy and whole and healthy and whatever that means and whatever that takes. You as well, Ray. I just met you. I want you to be happy and healthy.
Thank
and
you,
whole.
man.
But it's not a number on a scale. It's not a amount of visits you've been to a counselor. It's not the amount of times you've been to church. It's that do you know God? Do you know Jesus? Are you walking? Are you living in that? Do you pray? Mm-hmm. Do you have a community? Is there any accountability? You know, those things. I mean, it's like, how can you be whole and happy and healthy?
Yeah, man.
I want that for everybody.
Don, when you're ready to grieve, when it hits you, we're going to be here for you.
I appreciate that.
We will.
Thanks, Tracy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, listen, this has been great hanging with you guys, man. And I hope I didn't bore you. I know it was a little different than you're used to. And it's just, it's what I do, man. And I'm so grateful because I really got to know you guys. Watching you guys on the show is one thing, and seeing some of the things, and then getting to really to know your heart. You know, it's just amazing, you know. And I want to thank you all for being on the show. And I want to talk to all my people watching. Listen, guys, you saw real struggles, you saw real success stories, and you just saw reality. And for those of you who didn't watch the show, I challenge you to go back and watch it, and watch the stuff that they went through and the stuff that they persevered through. And, you know, as always on this show, man, we speak the gospel truth, man. And I just want everybody watching, if you don't know the Lord, give your heart to Jesus, you know, and get connected in a church and all that. And just want to say thank you to all you guys for watching, man. You know, so you guys hang in there with me. Any last words, anybody? We good?
I just really appreciate you doing this and having us on. This is an honor.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I really.
Can I just say something else?
Absolutely.
For the people.
Yes.
I want to share that when I was talking about I was angry, it is okay to be angry.
That's right.
And it is okay to work through it, because I'm telling you, once God, like, he just proves to you, like, okay, it's okay to be angry at me. It's okay that this is going on in your life, and it's okay for you to ask me why. But when you come out on the other side and you get to see, like, that light, it's such a great place to be.
Yes.
So anybody out there that's angry, I see you. I know you. I still go back in that space sometimes, and I have to pull myself back. But it's okay. You can pull yourself through it. You really.
Great. That is great. That's great. So, guys, until next time, just remember to like and share and subscribe. And you guys you guys, my hosts, my guests, hang in there for a minute, and I'll see you guys again soon. This is